So even though this card did lose the greatest of all time, which obviously sucks, this card is still great, I ain't lying. I'ma just go ahead though and I'ma jump right into it. Jiri Prochazka and Alex Pereira is gonna be straight violence. If for no other reason, strictly because Jiri Prochazka don't know how to have a boring fight. Now, I'm torn here, because I think any and everybody would agree that Alex is the cleaner, more technical striker. Obviously, Jiri does a lot of unorthodox things, specifically defensively, most common of which is just leaving his hands down, honestly. So it is easy to think that Alex will just be able to keep things in his range, establish his jab, both to the head and to the body early, his leg kicks as well, and force Jiri to come in and do something stupid, and probably catch him with something big. And obviously, most people do point to his left hook. Jiri does have a pretty decent opening on his right side, which is obviously a terrible thing when you're fighting somebody with probably the best left hook on the planet. And I do think another interesting thing is that Alex does have Jiri's last opponent in his corner. And even though you can't actually game plan and try and predict anything Jiri's gonna do, having somebody that has fought him in his recent fight past is helpful nonetheless. With all of that said, I'm gonna be honest. I'm picking Jiri Prochazka. Listen, I don't know what it is about this man, but I really do think he has been ordained by the Lord. He should have literally lost multiple fights already in his UFC career. Dominic Reyes knocked him out with an up kick. He's admitted it already. Glover was probably minutes away from winning a decision, as well as having should have stopped him multiple times in that fight. But for some reason, somehow, Jiri Prochazka just doesn't lose. And I'm starting to get to the point where I don't know if it's possible. Stylistically, I think Jiri can pose some problems for Alex that he hasn't experienced in a while. When you're dealing with a kickboxer of Alex's caliber, a lot of his fights kind of go a similar way. I'm going to use his fights with Israel Adesanya as an example. They meet up in the middle of the octagon, and they basically just go tick for tack. Israel might throw a jab and a leg kick, and he'll reset. Alex might throw a leg kick into a little hook, they reset. Great kickboxers most of the time, low-key fight like it's a RPG game. And you know that's cool. And if that's what this fight gonna be, Jiri's doomed. But Jiri does not do that. I don't think he's gonna give Alex the time and the space to operate in a clean fashion. Now again, this could be the exact thing that gets him knocked out. He could come in charging in like an idiot and get clocked and just fall, and then the fight's over. Now I'm not making this pick thinking that Jiri's not gonna get touched. He's gonna get hit, but for some reason I think he's gonna be able to eat enough of Alex's shots to impose his will. I don't know, man. It's just the same with all of his other fights. I've picked him to win fights in the past, and I really ain't know why. It's just a combination of unpredictability and power, alongside the athleticism and abilities to pull out any attack you could possibly think of. I just see it being a lot for Alex to handle. I think Jiri's gonna win. Might be wrong though, but just leave me alone. Moving on to the co-main, Sergey Pavlovich and Tom Aspinall finna go head up for the interim heavyweight title. And this fight is also incredibly intriguing to me, which is so funny because the fight probably won't get out the first round, but I'm so torn on this bout as well. To go ahead and just spoil the prediction, I am going to pick Sergey Pavlovich. Listen up, Tom Aspinall is an incredibly skilled heavyweight. He's a massive man that genuinely moves around like a middleweight. He's got incredible speed, definitely faster than Sergey, I believe. Marvelous precision and timing in his strikes. Great dexterity. He's one of the best wrestlers and grapplers in the division. I do think he has all the tools in the toolbox necessary to nullify Sergey Pavlovich. But there are just two problems in his game that almost scared me to death and completely steered me away from picking Tommy Boy. For as great as a mover as he is, and that will be his biggest key to success in this fight, every time I see Tom Aspinall enter or exit, it is extremely linear. He only enters on a straight line, and it's the same when he exits out of exchanges. He just goes straight back. But his biggest problem, which honestly to me is amplified by the fact he only just moves straight forward at you, is how high he leaves his chin. These are Darren Till levels of chin exposure. And obviously, Sergey Pavlovich is the last person on the planet you want to leave your chin exposed to. Now, is it possible that Tom is so much faster than Sergey? Has his Mangekyo Sharingan activated, he can just see all the punches coming and evade them all? Absolutely. But I don't know, dog. I'm scared. And to speak on Sergey quickly, I feel like there are misconceptions about the way that he fights, because I've heard a lot of people call him a brawler or just this reckless puncher, you know? And if I had never seen him fight, solely based off the descriptions I've heard from others, I would think Sergey's fought everybody exactly how Francis Ngannou just completely walked down Jairzinho Rosenstrike. But I don't see nothing of those sorts when I watch him. To me, Sergey is just great with distance and range. Most of the time, he's just out of distance of his opponent to where their strikes just come up short. And with his long reach, he's able to snipe people from his distance. The only thing about him is I do feel like at times when he's pressuring, his strikes can be a lot more predictable. And that's why, as I've said in the past, I feel as though somebody who does utilize a lot of feints could really shut him down. And again, Tom could be that guy, but the way in which he moves around the octagon it just scares me against a power puncher like this. Now, the biggest key of the fight is going to be the wrestling. If Sergey can't stop the takedowns, he probably already lost. But if he can, or at least can get up quickly from the bottom, that's where the fight gets interesting. Because I don't necessarily just view a striking match between the two as an automatic stomp for Sergey. I think Tom is very well equipped to handle himself on the feet, as long as he don't just stand in the pocket and trade. All this being said, I low-key don't win in circles. I'm picking Sergey. I think he's going to get Tom out of there in the first round. Either way, the fight's ended quickly, but yeah. Jessica Andrade versus Mackenzie Dern. Honestly, the time has come for Jessica Andrade. She sucks now. It is what it is. It was destined to happen after a while. For years, she somehow had the combination of incredible power and incredible chin with incredible cardio. That's not actually supposed to be a combination, but she had it for a while. But now she just be getting cracked. Women been ragdolling her around like she was doing the others for so many years. Her time has come. And she's never had like superb skills that would be able to mask her deficiencies as she physically decline, if that makes sense. So now that her chin is waning and she's not stronger than all of her opponents like she used to be, she's toast. And Mackenzie Dern's improved a lot. Pretty quickly, low-key, I ain't gonna lie. She a big woman with great grappling, and now she's got great cardio. I think she's gonna handle Jessica Andrade to submit her at some point, probably second round. And now the card get back interesting a little bit. Matt Frevola versus Benoit Saint Denis is probably gonna end up being the fight of the night. Regardless of how long it lasts, I think these two men are gonna run at each other and just fight like Flintstones. At least that's what I'm hoping for. Now, Benoit is over a 2-1 favorite, and I do think I'm gonna end up picking him, but that's kind of wild. Matt Frevola has the power to put anybody down, evidenced by his thrashing of Drew Dober. And even though Benoit has shown to have a amazing chin, with the way he fights and his willingness at times to get hit, I don't think that's a good thing to do against somebody with Frevola's power. All in all though, Benoit is a really good fighter, very well-rounded, good stand-up when he wants it to be, but that's mostly carried off his power and his chin. But he's shown to be an amazing grappler as well, and he's had quite a few masterful performances in the UFC. I really like Matt Frevola, I do, but Benoit might be a lot. It's going to be so crazy if and when Matt Frevola cracks him and knocks him out. But I'm going to go with Benoit. And then the card opens up with the return of Diego Lopez versus Pat Sabatini. And something about this fight completely appalls me. Pat Sabatini has been the favorite since the fight was announced, and he's still the favorite the day before the fight. I'm sick. I should put something down on Diego Lopez, but I ain't even gonna do it. I like Sabatini. He's really good. He's been doing very well as of late. I just think he's pretty small, and Diego Lopez is a rather large man for featherweight, and he has the skills to match. I just think he's going to go in there and overwhelm Pat Sabatini and make him realize early that nowhere in the fight is safe for him. Because Pat's a good wrestler and grappler, been able to impose his will on a lot of people. I don't really think he's going to be able to do that to Diego. If the fight hits the mat, that's usually with Pat feeling pretty good and confident. But to get down there with Diego Lopez, Jesus Christ, I think he's going to find out soon that he's doomed. Steven Erceg here too, main event in the prelims. And I'm just interested to see him fight because I want to know how good he is for real. Because I think he's cool, but like, I don't know. It's time to find out though. Real good card. I've heard a few people mention that it's top heavy, but I completely disagree. I think there's a lot to look forward to and a lot of exciting fights to be had.